welcome everyone to Carol Worldwide, your currently weekly but unknown frequency podcast. We're a local satire and current events podcast, right? And for the second week in a row, we've done this consecutive weeks. We've actually had the podcast, which is an achievement.
Shown up
Post-COVID. We have a guest again. So we're welcoming former Mayor of Westminster, Joe Dominic.
I'm here.
You're here with, you're sitting next to your hand, as the hand is supposed to be sat next to.
Former hand.
Former hand of the mayor. And so let's say, what is the good deed that you're here to discuss today? Because you have some, or you're still involved in the community. Don't let the lack of mayoral term confuse you.
Well, I think there are a couple of good deeds. I think the big one is that I made it through all 4 years, which means the hand did a great job.
You didn't die on the watch like the first hand on Game of Thrones. His guy died. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Game of Thrones isn't how I wanted this to end. So
no.
I think it was a success, at least on that front. The good deed. So I wasn't exactly sure how I was going to spend my extra time after I was done being mayor. But I think one of the things that I'm going to get more involved. I've been doing it when I was mayor, but I want to be more involved now. Is a group called Hey Westminster. So first, I have to give credit to Josh Ambrose. What's up?
I had Yay Westminster on my notes. I didn't know what it was called. It was something.
After midnight, it's Yay Westminster.
Yeah.
So Hey Westminster is a group, and it was really spearheaded by a guy named Josh Ambrose. You guys should definitely have him on soon and talk about it in more detail. But it's part of the Awesome Foundation. We're kind of like a chapter of it, and it's just doing kind of like micro deeds is the way that I would discuss it. Essentially, every month we want to help a different nonprofit or business or group do something. Just throw a little bit of gasoline on the fire, when we give a grant. So there's a bunch of trustees. We all pitch in money every single month, and we give a $1,000 grant to an organization. And it doesn't have to be a nonprofit. In fact, we're pushing ourselves to help the small businesses. They apply. There's an application process, and we want more people to apply to it. So it could be anything. We've helped a lot of nonprofits. We've helped small businesses that they want to do something to add to their business, and they apply, and they have to say what they're going to use the money for, and then we give them the money, and there's a little bit more to it. So we have some people that wanted to help in other ways. So when they get the grant, and you can argue some of these other things help even more. Global media. So Jeremy and Justin Willett are both part of this group, and Justin has global media, and every time we give money to one of these groups, global media comes out. They do a video, they share it, and what we found, some of these groups have gotten even more donations, things that are bigger than what we're giving them because people are seeing the video.
Exposure.
We get exposure. We get exposure to the Carroll County Times, and a really big thing that happened is I don't know if you're familiar with the Collard Foundation, Greg Collard. They help a lot of nonprofits in the area.
They're a big fish.
And on top of the 12 organizations we help every year now, they are throwing in $20,000 in grant money a year. Now that is only for nonprofits. So
because they're not you. I think I remember talking about this. You are not organized as a nonprofit because you don't want to have to be you want to be able to give the money away however you want.
Exactly.
So you're not necessarily taking a tax deduction. You're doing community work, but without the nonprofit red tape.
Yep. Exactly.
Okay.
Yep. So there's a lot to it.
Yeah.
Josh would go into it in more detail. But it's been fun. We're looking for more trustees, people that are going to come in, give money, help in certain ways, and we're looking for more applicants. We want to go through a ton of applicants every single month, and we have a meeting tonight where we're going to decide on this month's, tonight we'll decide on next month's winner recipient. That's a better word, but we're all winners.
Yeah. We're all winners at heart.
We're all winners.
Yeah, we're all winners at heart. Well, that sounds great. You just can't not be involved.
No. Well, no. I mean, once you get a taste, taste
of Westminster.
Yeah.
That's another thing, taste of Westminster.
Once you get your mouth around Westminster.
That's more Yay Westminster. Yeah. Or actually maybe rhymes with Yay. But
thank you for making the Westminster Pride Festival one of the recipients of the Hey Westminster grant.
Yep.
We appreciated that very much.
The video is awesome.
Yes, it is.
So Westminster Pride Fest was one of the more recent ones. So was the farmers market. And actually, this was one thing we did a little different. Instead of doing the normal $1,000 gift, we all pitched in and paid for them to have like a real video done for the Westminster Farmers Market and to really help promote that.
Nice.
That just doesn't help one organization. It helps
it helps
tens of organizations.
Is that the one that's like every Saturday in the parking lot, or which one's that? Farmers?
Yep, every Saturday it's in the parking lot off of 27. And I don't go every Saturday. The current mayor is there every single Saturday, unless she's away or something. And but I love, like, I always go. I always like have trouble carrying the stuff away. So it's a lot of great produce.
Is that a commentary that you're not hitting the gym enough, or is that just like can't carry it all away? What's going on with that?
You could take that however you want it. I'm definitely not hitting the gym enough, and by not hitting the gym, I haven't been to the gym since like I don't know, January or February 2020. So it's
what?
One day I'll get back in there.
Oh my gosh.
This isn't big news.
It is now.
It is now.
I have some little dumbbells at home.
This is the headline.
But what about weights?
Randy just called my family dumbbells.
I think he did. Yeah.
Randy just called a 5-year-old a dumbbell.
That's tough.
I think he did. Yeah.
Well, he's, you know what I mean. He's cut his teeth in comedy, so like there's there's no
nothing's off limits.
No sacred cows.
You got to start with kids.
Kids,
you work your way up to
the
adults.
The sick and the infirm.
Right.
That's really your comedy wheelhouse.
Mm-hmm. Epileptics last week.
That was me, but
yeah.
okay, steal my credit too. That's another
still
big
material.
You're a George Mendez school of comedy. Who was it?
Carlos Mendez.
Carlos Mendez.
Yeah.
Yeah, he stole a bunch of jokes.
Carlos Mencia.
Yeah. Okay. Wow,
Carlos
I was
Mendez.
way off.
Yeah. I think the Mendez brothers were.
I was thinking they were murderers. Yeah. Not comedians.
I got my stealing, murdering mixed up.
We kill the jokes.
Yeah, and we kill the pop culture references too.
Yep.
Yes.
I don't know the Mendez brothers' first names. Does anyone?
Lyle and Eric.
Melendez, or was it Mendez?
Lyle and Eric. Yeah. What? It was not Mendez. It's. I can't remember. It's Lyle and Eric. Menendez.
You had that ready. You didn't even have to think about it.
Lyle does not sound like a murderer name, does it?
Lyle the crocodile.
Maybe that's why he's a murderer.
Well,
you named me what? I mean, he killed his parents, right?
Mm-hmm. He was pretty upset about that.
Yeah,
first
I would
name.
be upset too. I probably wouldn't have a mom. She named me Lyle.
You're okay with Randy, though?
Yeah, Randy's good, except when I meet women from Europe, they ask me my name. That happened.
Randy, I see, yes.
That happened when I was like 20 years old.
Really?
I think I told this story. I met these twins from
oh boy,
Australia.
This sounds like a real story.
Australia's not in Europe, by the way.
It's close enough.
It's Tawny Town South.
It's its own continent.
The Tawny Town of Europe.
I think the real difference is in Australia they're going to recognize the name Randy. I think in Europe they're going to be like, "What's a Randy?"
No, there is a Randy. The name Randy means horny.
Yeah, we understand that.
Yeah,
and I mean, when I told them my name,
we get the vibe from you.
They were like, "No, really, what's your name?" And I said, "Randy."
Are they British now?
They walked away giggling.
And they're British, Australian.
They're half British, half Aussie. They showed me their papers.
Randy's name got him Me Too'd.
I took pics with my cell phone in 1990.
So before we get into the actual docket, do you have any like mayoral thoughts? Like the end of your term was, I think, like the most contentious part of your term because of like the succession and the election and everything else like that. Any parting thoughts now that you're not inhibited by owning public office?
You can cuss if you want.
So I've never been inhibited by public office for the
I know.
So those of you that are like on Facebook probably know that. But I will say that the entire time, including my own campaign, I didn't say a single negative thing about anybody in my entire campaign. So when I ran, I ran on what I wanted to do. I've always respected people that are in public office, and I think that especially locally, almost always they're there. Even if you disagree with everything they do, and I know some people like that. I still always thought they did what they were doing for the right reasons. And fast forward to when I decided not to run this last go around here in May 2021. I feel like the person that was running, one of the people that was running, was not doing it for the right reasons at all, had no idea what they were doing, and the things they were saying were dangerous in a lot of ways, but also, they kind of like personally attacked someone's just personal things. They were attacking him in letters, and it was the first time that I went. I'm doing air quotes here, but went negative. I felt like I never wanted to do it. I felt like it had to be done this time, and it was my last act of service as mayor was to accurately discredit someone who was fronting as some kind of like business mogul who he just didn't know. He didn't understand a single complex concept. And I spent 3 hours talking to him. I told anybody that was running, I was going to try to stay out of it. But if you have any questions about current issues, things that are going on, I want everyone to be informed and to be able to if they win, to help run the city. And I spent 3 hours explaining a lot of things to him, and he didn't absorb any of it. And through the forums and everything, I just saw him just say every stupid thing you could, and I just couldn't imagine him running anything.
So you're saying representing yourself as a business mogul who won't listen to advice or read anything is not a successful model to be an executive?
Oof.
I think we've learned that the hard way, yes.
See, Sherry,
Oof.
That's how you do it.
You, Dennis Dillon.
I think her thing's good, too.
Mine was just as effective.
Yes, it was.
Yeah.
2 different approaches.
I say what I think. That is the hill I have chosen to die on.
You're still alive, though.
Anyway, yes. Is Joe a little more diplomatic than I am on this particular show? Yes.
You both had the same goal, though.
Yes, we did. And we achieved it together.
We're just getting started.
We'll
see how diplomatic I am.
Joe and I did a little tag team on that whole thing together, and it worked out well.
Well, he accused me of like not being supportive of Pride Festival after he sends out a letter, like dog whistling to the world that the other candidate, the one he was running against, is gay, and he wanted everyone to know it. And by the way, by him I mean everyone else. He had no idea what he was doing. He didn't write any of that stuff. He was a puppet. And so really, when we say, but if you allow someone to put your name on these things, like you're culpable. You're running for mayor. You're a big boy now. Like if your name's on the letter, your name's on the letter. Yeah. He didn't denounce it. He didn't come out and say, oh, you know what, I didn't write that. Someone else wrote that, and I don't agree with it. He just kind of doubled down.
Yeah, he did.
Who's pulling the strings then?
It's extremely obvious.
Yes.
The same people who texted me. Who I said on a previous show, I got a text from Republican committee.
And in all fairness, in my opinion, and I say opinion, I'm pretty sure I'm right on this. I think it was a small group within the Republican Central Committee, for the record. Because and I'm not going to say any names because I don't want to cause any trouble for anybody.
I'll bleep them anyway.
I had plenty of people reach out and be like, "Hey, I never saw that thing. I didn't know it was going out. I think that was crazy." I had plenty of people from within say, "I'm sorry that happened. I hope we're still cool because I didn't."
And I don't mean to interrupt, but isn't that the whole problem with fucking politics right now? There's all these people that want to play respectability politics, but when it's their side, they reach in back channels and say it's okay, but they're not actually going to plant their flag and say I agree with these policies, but this is wrong. There are people that I appreciate they said that to you, but where were they when this whole thing was out saying this isn't? I saw some people on Facebook, right? But I know there's plenty of other people who could have done something more and said this is not our brand of, because he was running as a conservative in a nonpartisan position. It's campaigning on foreign policy when you're in Westminster. It's what are we doing here? It's not the subject
everything's
du jour.
Political now. So it's a partisan issue. The vaccine's a partisan issue. A national pandemic's a partisan issue. This is something that I think 10 years ago wouldn't have been a partisan issue. So things are just partisan now. And if you want to be in politics and that's something that you take very it's important to you, you almost have to. It's not important to me. I want to serve my community. I'd never had the need or the want to run for anything outside of Westminster, and I won't do it. I mean, I'll never do anything outside of local politics or local government. But if you do, you have to have a party. I mean, if I let's say I wanted to run for commissioner or delegate or state senate or something, which I have, by the way, I'm not, and I never would. But if I did,
announcement,
I couldn't. I couldn't because I'm a registered independent. and I do that because I think things are so partisan now. I don't want someone to assume every, how I sit on every issue based on an R or a D. Mm-hmm. And if I want people to ask me where I stand on things, and that's why after I won, I switched over to independent because I saw how bad it was just to have a letter next to your name, in terms of like the assumptions people made. Mm-hmm. But if you want to run for certain things, you have to. It's extremely rare. There are only a few places where you can get away with being an I, and so I don't like it. I can't be mad at them though, because I want good people to be in politics. Yeah. So when someone does that, I could criticize them, and I'd be right, just the same way that you just did. Like, you're correct, 100%. But I don't want them to like wedge themselves out of it and just leave the people that are that don't have any scruples.
Yeah, I mean, it's I know how the sausage gets made, so I understand the politics of not saying it. I also understand the politics of being a phony, which is like our county has a huge portion of people running currently as phonies, and so like I get how the sausage is made, but what I cumulatively that impact is that the crazies run the show, because the crazies are the hardline vanguard, and you need them to win a primary because the primary is all that matters in 70% of districts. I don't know the number, but most places it's not really close between the Republican and the Democrat because it's all locked up from gerrymandering, and it's just a shame, and I wish there were more people like Joe Dominic in politics, right?
Amen.
Because I know you don't consider Westminster politics, but still running for elected office based on just, I am this person, you can ask me questions and I'll come up with my policy position on them, but like I'm not hitching my wagon to a set of assumptions. That's really the intelligent way to do this, and we're baked into a system that's just in a death spiral.
Well, that's a little dramatic, but
don't you? I mean,
but you're not 100%.
This is the first rebellion against the government since the Civil War. Is that not a death spiral?
You had me up to death spiral, but I mean, I guess death spiral isn't totally inaccurate.
I mean, we'll see. It may not. It may be fine, but like, I don't know. Are you confident that we're going to be in a good spot at the next presidential election? Will one party recognize the other's victory?
No, I don't think we should ever be confident in any of that stuff, because I think in at the end of the day, we've seen the possibility, and we've seen it happen in other countries. Mm-hmm. It doesn't take a 50-year cycle for it to go that route. It takes 4. Yeah, or less. Mm-hmm. And I mean, like, it's a very different world than it was 8 years ago. True. I mean, think about McCain, Obama, like when they ran against each other, like how cordial it was when like someone in the audience said something about Barack Obama that wasn't true, and McCain like said, "Hey, we disagree on a lot of things, but he's a good man." Like, can you even think of that happening today in a presidential election? Like, it's totally out the window. Things have changed. So, and it's seeping into local politics is the problem, because I'll give you a perfect example of this is like I ran as a Democrat, but in the last 12 months I've endorsed 5 people publicly. Mm-hmm. 4 were Republicans. Mm-hmm. I don't pick like a side when I endorse anybody. I want the best person for the job. Mm-hmm. And it doesn't matter what affiliation they have if they're sound on the issues, and I think they're a good person. That's what everybody says. That's what everybody says they support. But when you look at how it actually happens, that's just not how it happens. Yeah. Mm-hmm. If can I get your pledge if you win another public office that Randy can be your hand again? I mean, I need him to be my hand still. Oh,
citizen
once
hand?
a hand, always the hand.
So is Randy like
sweet.
A hand in absentia? Like he's a hand in absence,
He's got the pin. Why aren't you wearing your pin?
It's because I'm not the hand anymore. You're not the mayor anymore.
That's not what I just heard.
Apparently, I still have it. It's in my office. Coveted.
Do you think Bill Clinton doesn't have his Secret Service? Do you think George
It's in a light box. I'm your Secret Service. I'm your security.
You're the hand. So
I've been protecting him while he comes into the gym for the past year.
Well, it's not in the gym.
Right.
I guess that's
it's been real easy.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I give that a 3.
What, the joke?
Yeah.
Oh, we're rating jokes now?
I don't know.
Well, I just rewatched after a long time Air Force One. The Harrison Ford, Jack Ryan, and he didn't need a hand. He did it all himself. So
why didn't you get a plane? You should have had a plane.
I mean,
we do have an airport.
What if you had to fly to Tawnytown?
I didn't have an office, so there's a lot of things. I turned my office over to the council president. He needed it more than I did, so I didn't have a chair. I didn't have anything. So
did you have a gavel?
I did, and you know what? And I always made jokes about the gavel, right? Like it was like because in the city of Westminster, the way the charter's set up, when it's a public hearing, the council presidents run the council meetings, but the mayor gets to run the public hearings. So they turn the gavel over. And when I left, one of the things they did is they got like a engraved kind of like gavel, like a celebrate. I don't know.
Why wouldn't you use like a Mjolnir as your gavel?
Thor's hammer.
I'm just
is he worthy?
Is
he worthy?
They make a lot of nerd references, Joe. So you're just
is he worthy to lift Thor's hammer? I mean, we like Joe, but I mean, come on.
He could have had his own.
There's only 2 people that are with Thor's hammer so far. So.
I just want to know why we can't just call it Thor's hammer. Like you have to get
all Scandinavian on it. I mean, in the comics, like it's like every other year, someone else managed to pick up Thor's hammer.
Did you forget Hela?
Does she pick it up? She breaks it.
Yeah.
Well, you know who has Thor's hammer now? Harper Smythe.
Harper Smythe, right?
Harper Smythe.
You mean you, Joe?
That's not funny.
It's not funny.
And you know what? It's true. Out of everybody to do it, that makes me the most mad. That you would try to pin it on me
because you can do the graphics. You have all those resources. Do the Korfball logo and.
Yeah, that's how I'm spending my post mayoral time.
Yeah,
Korfball. I still don't understand
what is
the whole Korfball thing.
Oh, you don't understand it?
No, and I don't even really know what he's doing with it. So like I appreciate a lot of the posts, but I need to go back and like see the pattern of Korfball to really understand, because it's clearly a common theme, but I don't really even know like where he's going with Korfball.
It's a tournament. It's a season. It's Korfball season.
Westminster better win.
Fantasy
Westminster.
Yeah.
Fantasy Korfball.
Playing Tony Town.
So before we get into the regular scheduled program, any other thoughts that you want to put out in the world?
Yeah, so I would say, if I'm going to say something serious,
it's your platform.
It's a lot of people have a lot to say about what happens in a city or a county, and the people that run the city and the county are always looking for volunteers for qualified volunteers for things like commissions and advisory boards and things like that. And when it comes time to get some, I mean, I love everybody that's on all of those committees, even the ones I disagree with, because they're volunteering that time.
Skin in the game.
There are a lot of people that help run a city. It's a very large group of people. There are a lot of commissions, a lot of advisory boards, and if you have a complaint, if you're fired up about something we did or you don't understand it, like put yourself out there. Offer up to join a commission or advisory board. Be heard.
All right, I got something.
Yeah.
So there was an ad in the paper for the Westminster Municipal Pool, right? And it says, pool memberships are now available for the 2021 summer season. Join us for our final season and reminisce on nostalgic memories as the Westminster Municipal Pool at the Westminster Municipal Pool before we begin pool renovations to upgrade your experience. Is it the final season or not? It sounds like it's going away. Are they upgrading to a dinosaur park? Please say yes.
It's more like the final countdown than the final season. And I think
final countdown.
You gotta remember, like you, Randy, I'm an ad man, and our directors and our deputies at the city aren't ad men and ad women. So I think they
subtract men.
I think with great intention they may have missed the mark a little bit on this ad. It's not the last. It's the last season before it'll be renovated. So
it will be different.
Yeah, there's a lot of
2.0. No, in other words,
2.0. There's a lot of money going into the pool. The pool is something that keeps a lot of kids busy over the summer. I think it's really important the city does it. And there's some leaks or some cracks. It's one of those things where like after so much time you just gotta fix the pool up. And there's some good things going to be added and some foundation. So I think I don't know if the Mayor Dominic splash pad is going to be added like we discussed. I really wanted a splash pad.
Oh yeah.
It's the one at the YMCA is like super popular.
Yeah.
And I don't know. There's no splash pad, but I pushed for it.
It's going to be up. Look, you pass the torch, you're going to have to see where the legacy goes. But if they do a splash pad, will they call it the Joe Dominic splash pad?
No. There was a joke going around about it because, I said if we're gonna spend spend money to improve the pool, we should go big. But I'm all about giving kids things to do. I think like the biggest thing, and there's not a lot that the city does that really affects children. Like the city doesn't oversee like education or anything like that. And I think the biggest thing, like one of the biggest factors on like, kids growing up to be like good adults is that they're just kept busy. I mean, so more things to do for kids, the better.
Yeah.
Yeah, put them to work.
Put them to work. Yeah.
But Carol hates kids. But I mean, I agree with you. But
yeah, I wanted a splash pad. The entire council, instead of getting the splash pad, went more like Randy's route, and they were like, well, we should just have them, go clean up trash.
Yeah, empty trash.
yeah, I like that.
Fix stuff at the park that they broke probably.
I thought I had seen in the notes they were going to just make MILF Mountain there instead.
MILF Mountain? Mm-hmm. I'm listening.
I'm just making that up. I don't know.
What would MILF
I thought you were
Mountain
going
look
somewhere
like?
with that.
No.
Yeah, I didn't know.
I don't know. I just thought it was alliterative.
Is that near Cougar Canyon?
Near Cougar Canyon.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Wow. Mm-hmm. So what do you think? What do you think, Joe, of the new food place is coming? I know this is an area that is
a new build up of stuff
to our hearts. Outback is coming near where CVS is.
Yeah, I do think the people behind that were trying to keep it low profile for a little while, but clearly it's all over Westminster online community now. So
and nobody's excited about
above
it.
and beyond or whatever it's called now.
Right.
So, well, I think so here's the reality, right? Like you have the group of people that are like, well, why do we need an Outback? We already have a Texas Roadhouse. Why do we need another chain restaurant? But the reality of it is, most people like to go to chain restaurants. I love going to Texas Roadhouse. I'm not as big of an Outback fan, but I really like Carrabba's, and they're usually by Outback. This is, I think it's a standalone Outback, but like, a lot of people really like Outback. And if you go to Texas Roadhouse, at least, pre-pandemic, which I think, we're pretty much back there now, which is on a Friday or Saturday night, you could have an hour wait. So to say we don't need another steakhouse, and look, the people at Outback know what they're doing. The people at Texas Roadhouse know what they're doing. When
this is a science.
Yeah, no one, like everyone gets all fired up when there's like a pharmacy going in because they want something cool, but you need pharmacies. A pharmacy is not exciting, but if you didn't have enough pharmacies, that's a bigger problem than not having enough like small family-owned fun restaurants. So
BB&Ts.
Yeah, BB&Ts.
Now Truist.
Look, and we should get credit. The city should get credit for taking out a BB&T.
You did take out a BB&T.
We pushed them right out. The biggest one. We shoved them right out.
You bought them out. You just crushed them.
Yeah, we just pushed them right out. But
wait, they still got the ATM at that building.
I was just gonna say.
We got an
ATM.
Yeah, they're not gone.
We had to concede the
Bastards.
ATM.
BBT ATM.
But look, there's an Indian restaurant going up where like Sergio's and
really
everything is.
Oh, that's new.
And I like that's one of my favorites. Right. So
that's
like
amazing. We've said we need that.
I'm excited about. 84 East is one of the more recent ones. I mean, there's stuff going in. We actually ended the pandemic with more businesses than we started.
I think I even said on this podcast I thought that we were going to lose 10 or 20% of restaurants, and we really didn't during the pandemic, which I suppose is a mixture of federal money and like carry out attentiveness and business owners just willing to gut it out like Sherry. I'm sure it wasn't easy. I'm just shocked that we haven't had more casualties. But the Indian restaurant, is that going like where is which building is that going to? In that shopping center?
I want to say if you're facing certain, you know what? I'm not sure.
Vape Dojo? Is it going where the Vape Dojo is?
I hope so.
You don't like
because I got a black belt from the Vape Dojo.
You don't like the dojo?
I think there's way too many vape stores popping up.
Yeah,
but here's the thing. I have to
the
be
market
my own
supports
critic.
it.
I got to be my own critic because like I was just talking about pharmacies and Outbacks. Maybe all the vape places aren't doing the same market research that like an Outback's doing, but if the economy supports it, then I'm wrong. It's one of those things where just because you don't use it or you don't want it doesn't mean a big part of the population doesn't.
How about chicken fingers?
I love chicken fingers, but you're talking about the
Raising Cane's.
Where's that going?
Denny's. It's still up on the Carroll County website.
Oh, that was a while ago.
That was April.
It was going to replace Denny's.
It's going to replace
but I thought
Denny's.
Ruby Tuesdays was spoken for, but that hasn't happened yet.
Ruby Tuesdays is spoken for. So Ruby
it was going to be a Panda Express, right?
Yeah. Well, it's going to be when that's knocked down. It's going to be a strip. There's going to be two, food type retail. So it's still considered retail and zoning, but two food related retail places. One's going to be a Panda Express. The other one, at least when I left, wasn't decided on, but. It'll be two little like restaurants like a Panda Express and something like it, and then a couple of things in between.
Yeah, so we got stuff going up. Indian and Mediterranean are the two I think biggest gaps in the Westminster culinary market right now.
Yeah, not a lot of. There's a lot of like Italian restaurants that have like a couple of Mediterranean style dishes on it. And
you get like a gyro at the Stables. Right, but like it's not like
they're Greek.
I know, but they're not serving the full schmear of like Middle Eastern Greek. as a general rule.
Right.
Where can you get that though? You like pretty much have to go to a big city like Baltimore to find like real Greek restaurants.
Greek town.
There's a bunch of like kebab style places in like Owings Mills.
Eldersburg has a kebab place.
Habib Kebab,
Nora's,
delicious.
And Nora's is in Eldersburg. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's, I mean, and what is Raising Cane's? Is it chicken finger?
Chicken
place?
fingers. Yep.
It's a chicken finger specialty place.
Yes.
Is it just for like children who want nuggies?
I think it's for adults too.
Well, I mean, yeah. Okay. Well, I wouldn't be sad to see Denny's go, my least favorite establishment in all of Carroll County.
I didn't know that. It's your least favorite, huh?
This episode's already running long, but I have a long war story with Denny's.
War. Okay.
I spent a lot of time at Denny's when I was in college. It was like a joke how much I was at Denny's in college.
Was it? You were probably in college when I had my big altercation with them there. It was like.
So I mean, this was like 2000, 2003.
Yeah, I was back from college and. Just like they were just so miserable there. I was like got in this huge fight.
That's the age.
So, let's see. Do we have anything else? Confusing. Oh no, we have that.
No, the Carroll County Times comment that just had me laughing for hours.
So what is a wealth advisor? Sounds like BS to me.
Yeah, that was the comment.
I can guarantee this guy does not need a wealth advisor.
I read it in a different voice. There's this story in the Carroll County Times that. This guy joins wealth advisors in Westminster, and he's being honored by Carroll Hospital. And the only comment on there is this guy going, "So what is a wealth advisor? Sounds like BS to me." The guy's never heard of the job wealth advisor and what they do. So this is for people who are responsible with their finances and eventually need somebody to help manage large sums of money, like a retirement or maybe an estate or a lottery winning or something like that. Yeah. Correct?
That's part of it. So I mean, like my company, we have a wealth advisor run a simple IRA, which is it to an employee, it's exactly the same as like a 401k, except the fiduciary is different. It's not me; it's someone that actually knows what they're doing. So I mean, like they do other things like that too. So they help you get to having a large sum of money, I guess.
There you go.
Yeah, it's
sounds like BS to me.
The place is called Kairos Wealth Advisors, who I know, and I know this. Gentleman that joined it, and they're like a reputable, great Westminster operation. And it's like, all you have to do is Google it first of all. Like it's not like you're like sitting around the water pool cooler, cracking out the paper, being like, I wonder what a wealth advisor is. Like you literally have the answer at your fingertips.
But hold on, so that's actually something I'd like to discuss because it grinds my gears when you hop on Facebook and someone's like, does anyone know a roofer? Is like, if you're just looking for a roofer, like there's a better way to find a roofer. Like if you're like, hey, I need to find someone that specializes in this that you've had a good experience with. Facebook's a great place to ask a question like that. But if you're like, anyone know a dentist? It's like there's a better way to find a dentist if all you just want is a dentist.
I think sometimes the implicit thing is they want like a real human to say they had an experience with them, even though all these places have reviews. Like if you look up estate planning lawyer in Carroll County, you can find me, and I have like 50 or 60 Google reviews and an excellent person doing my search engine optimization. And at any rate, so it's just one of those things where like I assume that people they do know how to use Google, and they're just like, let me have a conversation about like I don't know, upholstery.
They're lazy.
But it's harder to ask a question on Facebook than it is to just Google's like Google Chrome is so easy now. You don't even have to go to the Google website. You just use your big fat fingers and smash in some words.
It's still lazy. Have you heard of anybody who moved out of their apartment because they didn't feel like cleaning it?
No.
I assume you
That's
have.
a thing. No, I haven't, but I know people who have.
Is this like an urban legend?
What? No, people have done that. They didn't feel like cleaning their apartments. They moved into a new one.
It just went too far, and they're like, you know what? It's over the tipping point.
Yeah.
Just call it a wrap.
Right.
So they just lost their security deposit?
They just waited till the next cycle and moved into another place.
I've never heard. You never heard of that. You're just saying
no,
it's a
I
thing?
didn't. Why would I make that up?
That's akin to like throwing out your vacuum when the bag is full.
But how do you use a vacuum then?
There you go.
I don't know. What's a vacuum?
No,
that joke sucks.
More often than I should.
Give it a 2.
There's some there's like a pan or a pot, and I'm just like, here's the thing. I've done my best cleaning this, and there's this thing I can't, I've ruined it. Or like there have been times where like
ruined vacuums?
Something's in the back of the fridge and you just missed it. And it's been there for a long time and it's small, and then you're like, wait a minute, that's disgusting.
Mm-hmm. You just get a new fridge.
And I'm like, well, yeah, I threw the whole fridge out. No, but like that Tupperware container or whatever it is, I'm like, you know what?
Oh yeah, you
Here's
throw
the
away the
thing.
container, sure. Yeah,
That's all this is.
A
It's the same
Tupperware,
thing.
yeah, it's on like a exponentially large scale. But yeah, if I bought like a set of Tupperware, like plastic Tupperware for $25, and like one of the 15 items has just been like totally gnarly, like you
got
can throw
fuzz.
that. Yeah, you can throw that away, I guess.
It's got fuzz on it. Just throw it.
You're talking about like $1.50 outlay on that sucker, though.
Yeah, but what are apartments? It's just Tupperware for people.
Oh yeah, Tupperware for people. I think that's our episode name.
People
Yeah.
have been found dead in their apartments. That's kind of like leaving it in there to rot.
Yeah, we're all dying, so we're all just dying in our apartments, right?
I guess.
Yeah, we're all being preserved by air conditioning, so we don't pickle. Okay,
All right.
I like
Alright.
it. I like the metaphor.
Just a little Wednesday existentialism.
Yeah.
Happy Joy Dennis.
Me? I didn't say Tupperware for people.
I
You
mean,
said
we're all dying.
I made a Tupperware joke, and now everyone's dying in their
You
apartments.
turned it into this existential crisis.
Look, the
We're all dying.
The existential crisis is upon us. Okay,
You don't have to remind me.
I'm just
I like
I'm
to
just
deny it.
mentioning it. Sherry, you look fed up. Do you want to do your top 10?
I would love to talk. May I talk now?
Yes,
You didn't
please.
just ask 3 men if you could talk now.
I did.
This is Twilight Zone.
Yeah.
Can we explain to you how?
Oh
to
my
talk?
God.
Yeah.
Honey,
Would you-
sweetie,
Would you please explain to me?
Did you know Dave Letterman does the top 10?
did.
I didn't, but thank you for telling me.
The best part about mansplaining is when you're actually wrong. That like is really the hallmark of a good mansplain. You don't actually explain it.
That is the hallmark.
That was
of it.
next level.
Okay. So this week's top 10 are the top 10 reasons that Joe Dominic didn't run for a second term as mayor.
Oh, now we're going to find out.
Boy,
So here we go.
Over under 1.5 hand references.
am I going to get a chance to confirm or deny each one, or
I think you just want to do a blanket denial beforehand.
Number 10, there was too much pressure to name the official nacho of Westminster. So he couldn't do it. Couldn't make it happen. Number 9, his one and only campaign promise to rid the streets of grass clippings was impossible to reach.
People were mad about that.
Tough.
Yeah,
more
people
of a
were
county plight?
people
Yeah.
were very, very upset about that.
Yeah, kick that one over to the commissioners, I think.
Number 8, he wanted to torture and embarrass people in local community Facebook groups with full autonomy. So he got his wish.
Winner.
Harper Smythe.
Number 7, the family center does not allow slamming weights after a deadlift, even if you're the mayor.
That's a good reason to leave office.
Yep.
That was the whole reason to get in office.
I bent all the bars there. It's time to go.
Yeah.
Number 6, his disappointment when the idea of turning official Westminster City proclamations into raps was shot down. Oh, very disappointing about that.
There's a Zach Tomlin joke in here somewhere.
That's what it was.
I'm pretty sure he
almost-
listens to this. I hope he does.
It-
Like, if not, I'm talking behind his back.
Yeah.
Number 5, he could not convince the council to make the beer and barbecue stroll into a 5-day event. It's very
That would be great.
Camper.
Nonstop.
Number 4, he got really tired of all the "my mayor can beat up your mayor" comments.
Look, Joe's up there, but Kane is a mayor. Okay, WWE wrestler Kane is a mayor. All right, just saying. He's 7
Is he
foot
really?
tall, big red machine.
Yeah,
He's a mayor?
Tennessee. So
Knox County. I think he's Knox County's mayor,
Not-
which is weird.
Yeah, it is weird. Let me just say this: in his prime, he definitely had me.
But now?
I don't know. There's
Ah.
there's an age difference, and look, being a wrestler for that long, I mean,
Takes its toll.
Yeah, you
Gotcha.
got to warm up just to get up in the morning. I mean, and I just I don't know. I think I have a fighting chance.
So does Lars Ulrich. Maybe you could be a better drummer for Metallica, too.
Number 3, the people of Tonytown made him an offer he couldn't
Oh.
refuse.
Oh,
Hey,
Anthony.
Stugats.
Number 2, Randy took his job as hand of the mayor just a little bit too seriously.
Okay, that's 1. I said 1.5 over under.
Got uncomfortable.
Not for me. Joe didn't complain.
And the number 1 reason that Joe Dominic did not run for a second term as Westminster City Mayor, the embarrassment of his constant misuse of the DTF app.
Oh,
Oh, it's Drug Task Force.
Yeah.
Handy Randy.
is what it stands for.
Randy
Not
did
to
not
call me.
Randy did not explain that well as hand of the mayor. So
He would use it and my phone would ring. I don't know.
yeah, see, there you go, 1.5. You got it, Dennis.
All right, 1 point. I was a good. I was thinking 0.5 would also be would have been a good
Okay.
over under too. But Sherry, do you need more of the floor? I'm sorry if
No,
you felt like you were
don't.
talked over.
You know what? I'm kind of just like out of it today. So
Oh my gosh.
I
You do some on the job training.
I didn't
for some
really.
people today.
I did. Oh God.
On the job training?
It's an inside joke because I have no idea what's going on.
I had a young woman come in today to see if maybe she would like to work in the cafe, and she washed dishes for 20 minutes and said, "I think I'm going to pass out." So I said,
Pass out?
Yeah. Here's your water, and see you later.
It's very nice of you to give her water.
I didn't really want the liability of her actually passing out.
Do you
although-
still have those 50-pound dishes?
Yeah. Yeah.
That might be it.
Yeah, that's probably what it was.
Oh, wait a second. Maybe she was it's not Joe Dominic slinging 50 pounds back there.
Yeah.
So,
He's got a vacancy
interesting.
now. Maybe he could wash dishes.
yeah.
A little extra time.
So, thank you, Joe, for coming on the show. And it's time to see you go. That's my rap. Here we go, because we had the rap reference. Anything else before we leave? I'm Dennis.
I'm Randy.
I'm Sherry.
See y'all later.